picture just laying in your room for 23 hours out of the day, not moving anywhere out of that room, nowhere, eating in there 23 hours out of the day. Just imagine if you'd enjoy that, if that would be good for you, because that's going to be like that for quite a while, for fucking months on it. 3 months, it's going to be 23 and 1, unless you could volunteer for the worker squad, and then we got out to work in like 3 hours at a time. You get out a little more privileges working, but you're just in a room. That's your life now, just sleeping, laying back, reading, doing whatever. That's it, in your cell. You know, maybe you try to work out, you try to whatever, but, you know, if you don't like your roommate, so be it. It's very tough to get roommates switched. So you probably can for extreme reasons, but you might have to fight him. I mean, it's tough. You're in your cell. You're just in a room now, and that's your life for the next whatever, however many months. And it's crazy to me that I could get out and forget so quickly and start using again when I know I could go back there, and was going to go back. And so the second time I did, I couldn't stop again. She gave me 3-4 chances, and then eventually I missed an appointment because I knew I'd fail, and she said, don't fail. And then she showed up at my house, pissed at, and took me to jail because she knew I was using it, and I was, you know, it was obvious. And so she put me in jail again, and this time was 6 months flat. I mean, you know, you meet people in there. It's not, you got to be with the right people, because you can meet worse criminals in there and just get worse at doing crime, like just do more crimes, and people glorify drugs and tell war stories, and you could get worse of a criminal and want to do drugs more. But you can also get your mind right and straight and be with the right people that are staying positive and you know, are way more positive than people are out here in the real world. And that's what I want to kind of grasp on. Like jail, at the beginning, I was like, this is my rock bottom and stuff. Then I went out and still used and fucking still did the same thing, and then went back again. And I'm like, this time it needs to change me. It needs to change me. And I mean, even after I've got out, since I've been back, I've relapsed before and stuff. So it still is tough and everything. And we're going to go through relapse. Will be a topic and everything too. So it's tough. Addiction is crazy. It's not easy. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. And, you know, people just say, oh, it's your choice. And, well, I mean, it was. But there's so many other factors that go into it. And once you're in there. And it's like, how strong are you to recover? Some people aren't as mentally strong and stuff. I know I wasn't for a while. And, you know, it's a battle. It's a battle that some people aren't equipped to win. So that's why I believe, it's not a disease. It's not a disease like cancer or something. Yes, that's not a chosen thing. So I don't believe fully on the disease, but I believe once you do have addiction, that disease, that genetic predisposition, and you do choose to use drugs and become an addict, I mean, then it is a disease, because you're battling it just like a disease. You could die way more easier than any disease. I mean, its death rates are way bigger than most diseases. Mostly, I don't know stats here, so I don't want to say anything crazy, but I'm pretty sure people die from addiction right now more than anything else practically. It's got to be close if it's and you know, once you have that, it's a battle. It's a disease now, because now, you know, you can, it just like you can get rid of it, but it can come back at any point. Like my sponsor used to say, even you get clean and everything, your addiction's just doing push-ups in the corner, just waiting for you to come back. It's getting stronger than before, because once you come back, you'll be right back in, whether it's 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, you'll be right back to where you were in about a week, because your addiction is strong and it's ready to go at any point. But I just want to say, from gratitude, in jail the second time when I chose to change my life, and I was tired of this shit. You know, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to let my family down, lose my friends, lose everything. I lost, you know, I did think through everything that was a girl I could be with, and once we both got clean, but, you know, that's room too. And so relationships, if you're in them, in addiction, I'd advise getting clean very quickly, because it's very tough to stay a couple if you get too big in addiction. It's very tough. It rarely can happen. So if you really like that person, then you should probably get clean pretty quickly if you want that to last. That's just, we'll talk about that another day. But, I'm tired of losing everything, letting everyone down, disappointing everyone, having this reputation, and maybe I'll have this reputation the rest of my life and everything, but I want to be a better person, and at least I want to be able to look in the mirror and be proud of myself and proud of who I look back at, and not feel like shit and feel depressed, and all I worry about is getting more money and getting more drugs, and that's the only point of my life. Like, what's a life? Your only point's just getting money and getting more money, and figuring out how to get more money, and then doing the drugs, and then sitting there and watching TV until you fall asleep, and then waking up and I got to get more money and get more drugs, and then do the drugs, and then watch TV and go to sleep, and wake up and I do the same thing. What life is that? That's no fun. That's nothing. Life's happening around you. You're just there. Life's happening outside. There's so much going on. There's, that you're missing out on, and it's sad. It's sad. It's like you're already in prison. You're in addiction prison. You're in prison outside. You're in prison to the drugs. The drugs are a jail, because basically, I spent my life like I was in a prison cell. I was just in my room. I mean, the only time I went out was to get money and get the drugs, and then I'd come home, do the drugs in my room, and we'd just lay on the bed and watch TV and sit in the room all day until we fell asleep, and got out and fucking got money again and got drugs. The only time I left, it seemed like, was to buy drugs, get money and buy drugs. That was the only time I left the room. So I was basically in a jail cell prison already. I sat in that room all day, did drugs, watched TV, and woke up. I mean, it was a terrible, terrible life anyways. It was gross. You don't take good care of yourself. You go long times without showering, longer than I even want to talk about. And it's gross. So it's just no life to live. No one wants to be around you. No one wants to don't deal with that. Everyone's worried you're going to steal something from them. Everyone thinks you're going to ask them for money. I'm tired of, my parents hiding their purses and my whole family when I'm home, or being scared of having this and that around, or me being alone in their house. That shit makes you feel terrible, but you got to deep down know that shit, I earned this. I did this, and they're not just doing it without warrants or just making it up. I did these things to make them nervous, or else they wouldn't be nervous. So you earned the reputation you have, and so I don't want my life to be like that anymore. I want my parents my mom to leave her purse out and take a shower or something, and the same amount of money be in there when she gets out, and nothing, or credit cards, nothing be stolen, and that's just all. That's the first step. I want the trust back, and it's hard to get back. If I was an addict for 10 years, it's going to take about 10 years. They say if you walk into a forest for 10 years, you got to walk back out 10 years. So the trust may not be back for 10 years, and that may upset you, but don't let it upset you, because you've earned that, and you just got to accept that until it'll change. All you can do is keep doing what you're doing to keep proving to them that you've changed. You can't just be like, well, I got this reputation and everything, so might as well keep doing it, I guess. I mean, I'm this person now, so might as well just be this person always. No, your parents want you to change. They want you to change. They just don't want their money stolen anymore. So they want you to change. So just show them. You got to show them consistently, not just for a few months or something, because I've shown them for months. It's got to be years. It's got to be some time. They need to see that this is for real for quite a while. So I decided to get with some people in jail that could help me get better, because there is a little bit in jail. Like, you can be with the wrong people and certainly do wrong things and be a worse criminal and everything in jail, certainly. But there's also the people, they they go to the NA and AA meetings as much as they can there, and they have their own meetings if they can't go or whatever, and they're just positive all the time. I never understood it. These people are smiling and laughing and like talking, and it's because they're tired of it too, and maybe they've been there a while. You know, people from prison come to the county, and at the end I went to a prison camp for a while and met different people, and there is even more high risk because you could do even worse things, but you also have better programs, so there is a little better too. But you get with these people and they're so positive and everything because they've had nothing. You know, when you get to jail, you realize, okay, you have no more freedom. That doesn't exist. You're not in freedoms now. You have no rights. You don't have rights. You can't call and be like, my bed thing's a little thin. Can I get an extra bed thing, some more cushion? I can't sleep on this, or I need this extra. They'll laugh at you. You're not getting any. You don't got any rights, no freedoms. That shit's gone. You fucking injected that away or smoked that away or whatever. All your rights, freedoms, all that shit is out the window. So you have nothing, and when you realize you have nothing and just sitting 23 hours in the room, and that's your whole life, laying on a bed 23 hours in a room for months at a time, you have nothing, shitty food, you have enough to fucking, and barely enough. And if your parents give me money on commissary, yeah, you got some snacks and shit, but you have barely enough. You don't have money coming in there. You have just enough food and water to survive, and that's it. Maybe a book or two, read the Bible, some shit. I mean, there's not much going on besides you and your head and your thoughts, and you could go either one. You could go sad, depression, woe is me, I'm the victim here, or you could realize I did this to myself. I'm the bad person. I caused this. This is my fault. How do I make it better? How do I fix it? And how do I change my mindset, my depressed ass negative mindset? My life is shitty, like I ruined it, I lost my job. That was my life. I already lost my dream job. I'll never be an editor again. I took 3 years off. There's a break in my resume. All these excuses and this and that, just because I didn't want to try. I just wanted to do drugs more and just feel bad, feel sorry for myself or something. And just people pity me and I'm the victim here and my life sucks. No, your life sucks in jail. Yeah, you got no rights. So once you have all that shit taken away and it's just you in a room with your thoughts, you got to realize you could just be sad, but you realize, I actually had it pretty good out there, and maybe I want to keep that life. Maybe I don't want to do this anymore and take away these freedoms and liberties and all that shit. I want those things again, so it's about now changing that mindset to positive, like look at all I had on the outside. That's where my gratitude, that's where I tie it all back together, is that the gratitude, when you moan at it at an NA meeting, it's people that brought that up, probably people that have been in jail for a while and lost all those rights and freedoms. So they have gratitude just to be free today. They have gratitude just to be able to walk down the street, just to be able to eat where they want, to choose what food they would like to eat today, not be chosen for them, and the time and where they sit. People would like to, drive, go to the beach, do something, go shopping, go whatever. People like to be free. And they realize they don't have that. Their drug use took that from them. So when they're out now, their gratitude is that they're free. They have their own home, or if they're at their parents' house, hey, they got a roof over there. They have people that love them still, apparently enough to let them stay at their house and get better and everything, and show that. And you can prove, like, you can find gratitude. You're living at your parents' house at 30 or 33, whatever the fuck your age is. Find it as a chance to get closer to your parents and show them that you're not the person you were, and use that as a chance to gain that trust back. And you get the opportunity to spend time with your parents. Think of it that way. No one's going to be here forever. We're all going to pass away at some point, and you're going to want to spend more time with them. You're going to be like, I wish I spent more time with them, or I wish I could spend another day with them. So maybe think of it that way, that, hey, I get to spend every day with my parents now and get to hang out with them and watch TV, whatever, go out to eat, go So maybe think of it that way. And